Research shows that over 50% of adults had an eating window of over 14 hours in a day, meaning that most adults are eating more than half of the day, which appears to have consequential effects on metabolism and overall health. Today's episode is an introduction to a solution to this problem called time-restricted eating. Time-restricted eating? What's that? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome to the Back to Basics Health with Coach B.T. podcast. I'm your host, Coach B.T., and today we're going to be talking all about a form of intermittent fasting called time-restricted eating. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. Let's dive in. What is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is an eating pattern that involves cycling between periods of eating and fasting. It is not a diet, but rather a way of structuring meal timing. Some common forms of intermittent fasting include the 16-8 method, which is 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating. The 5-2 method, which is normal eating for 5 days a week and restricting calories to 500 to 600 calories for 2 non-consecutive days of the week. Alternate day fasting involves alternating between days of fasting and days of normal eating. On fasting days, individuals consume very few calories or no calories at all. The Eat Stop Eat method, which is a form of intermittent fasting where you abstain from eating food for 24 hours once or twice a week. And there are many other methods of intermittent fasting. The specific form of intermittent fasting that we will be talking about today is one that I like the most, and it is something called time-restricted eating. What is time-restricted eating? Time-restricted eating is a dietary strategy that involves eating within a specific window of time each day and fasting for the rest of the day. How does it work? One major way in which time-restricted eating works has to do with something called circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is a natural 24-hour cycle that regulates various bodily functions including sleep, wakefulness, metabolism, and hormone release. A circadian clock is present in almost all tissues and cells in mammals. The circadian clock directly or indirectly drives daily rhythms in a large number of genes across the organ system. When we eat in alignment with our circadian rhythm, we tend to see major health benefits, which I'll come back to in a moment. What does it look like to eat in alignment with our circadian rhythm with time-restricted eating? It looks like choosing a consistent 8 to 10 hour daytime eating window. No effort to restrict diet quality or quantity are required, but improving diet quality would only improve your results. What about meal consumption? Eating larger breakfast and lunch meals and smaller dinner meals at consistent times each day is recommended. Consuming snacks throughout the day is also allowed. Avoiding nighttime calories is a critical component to time-restricted eating as well. Consuming water or other non-calorie and non-artificially flavored fluids at night is also okay. Again, time-restricted eating is not a diet, but rather a way of structuring meal timing. What are some of the potential health benefits of time-restricted eating? Improved sleep, improved mental health, less general hunger, weight loss if overweight or obese, improved blood glucose regulation, improved cardiac function, improved gut health, increased autophagy within the fasting window. Autophagy is your body's process of reusing old and damaged cell parts. Reduced inflammation, improved muscle performance, improved energy and restfulness, decreased blood pressure, improved cholesterol, and may also have cancer-fighting effects. If those benefits weren't enough, here are 3 more reasons why I like time-restricted eating. It is evidence-based, it has proven results, and it's easy to implement. With all this being said, is time-restricted right for everyone? No, time-restricted eating is not right for everyone. Individuals with certain conditions like diabetes, eating disorders, pregnant or breastfeeding women, or those taking specific medications should consult with a doctor before trying time-restricted eating. as it may not be suitable for their needs. In summary, I am a big fan of time-restricted eating. It is a dietary approach that I highly recommend for my clients and the general public. There is so much more behind the science of time-restricted eating that I did not have time to cover in this short episode. So we will have a deeper dive into this topic again in the future. Until next time, you've been listening to the Back to Basics Health with Coach B.T. podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. This is Coach B.T. signing out.